All right. So today's review is going to be of a movie that I've already gone to seen twice, and I'm probably going to see again this weekend. Uh, Even though this review, again, you know the drill when I say that this at the beginning of the videos. I don't know when this is going to be out, but I guess I will have talked about that again in a different video. So it seems like these intros are kind of just rambles at this point. Yeah, again, I'm just puking up old information, aren't I? At this point. Um, anyway, yeah, I would say that the two movies so far this year that have come out for DC, man, I mean, they are they are definitely competing with Marvel. I mean, I've always been a big fan of the DC movies. I haven't really been disappointed by a DC movie. I mean, Batman versus Superman was one of my favorite ones. Um, Probably still. No, I can't say that now because now that the new Batman movie is out, and it's my favorite Batman movie of all time, I do have to say that, yeah. Although I said that in the review for the movie anyway, whenever I put that out, holy crap, this year's just been flying by, right? 2022 has been crazy, even though this review might not see the light of day until 2023, but it is what it is. Just because I'm trying to get all my other content out. Um, so yeah, it's just been crazy. I'm trying to get my backlog content out now, and I just have to do it in order to kind of just keep going with the times as my channel grows a little bit. And oh my god, my throat is dry because I've been talking so long about Rings of Power in my previous review. Uh, but yeah, they are definitely going to be competing with Marvel in the future. If Now, I'm not sure what's going to happen with the Flash movie. Obviously, I guess we'll see. Maybe by that time, or maybe by this time, Shazam should be out. Uh, when does Shazam come out? Is it March of next year? I think the second Shazam comes out, and it looks far superior to the first one. I just gotta say that. And oh god, and then I'm not sure what's gonna happen. I guess the fate of the Flash is kind of hanging in the balance as far as that movie goes. Obviously, with the Ezra Miller stuff going on and all the stuff coming out about him, and then Aquaman has been delayed for a whole another year. So that's just crazy because of what happened with Amber Heard. And oh my God, if you haven't heard about that, then yeah, I guess you kind of live under a rock if you didn't know about Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. Even if you don't follow celebrities, you probably saw it somewhere online. Um, so anyway, that's been kind of the controversy with DC, I guess, is some of their actors going a little off the rails. And I guess we've heard, obviously at this point, we know that Henry Cavill's coming back as Superman. But I did just see the other day that unfortunately, I guess he's not going to be in The Witcher anymore, and he's going to be replaced by, uh, yeah, Liam Hemsworth, I guess, is going to be his replacement. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, so far I've been enjoying The Witcher show, but it just seems kind of like Henry Cavill just fit that character so well, so I'm not sure how they're going to deal with replacing him. Now, some people compared it to Spartacus, but I don't really know if this is going to be quite the same. I mean, Spartacus was unfortunate because the guy who played the first season unfortunately passed away. So, I mean, they knew they were going to do other seasons, right? But I wasn't that disappointed in him, the guy who replaced him. Now, I was disappointed in the end of the show because I feel like for the show's purpose, they probably could have changed the ending of the show. But anyway, that's not really what this is about today. But that's my 4 minute ramble now about other stuff. So we have Dwayne Johnson as Black Adam, or Teth Adam was his original name. Aldous Hodge as Hawkman, and his real name's Carter Hall. Pierce Brosnan, who was actually did really well in this role. Not his typical role, I would say. I know he's been like an action star, but this felt different for him. Even different for The Rock too. And Kent Nelson, uh, Noah Centino played Adam Smasher or Al Rothstein. Sarah Sahai played Adriana Tomez. Quintessa Swindell played Cyclone or Maxine Hunkel. Marwan Kenzara, or Kenzari, maybe? Okay. Played Ishamel Sabak and King Aktun. And Bodhi Sabangui, I'm going to say is his name, played Amon Tamaz. I hope I'm pronouncing those right. And was that pretty much it for main? Yeah, I guess that was it for main characters, hey? Who was her brother, though? Oh, I guess that must have been Kareem was the guy in the... Let's just see here. In the van. Had to have been. Yeah, who was with her when they first awake Black Adam? You would think they would have a photo of him, too, but maybe not. I guess they don't. Interesting. Kind of seems crazy that they wouldn't, but... Oh, well. They have a lot of photos of The Rock just working out on here, so that's kind of funny to see that. But anyway, so that was the main cast. I guess the rest of them were kind of like second. Oh, I guess it must have been. So Mohammed Amir played Kareem, and yeah, James Christine Moyer played Samir. That's right. Okay. So, in the beginning of the movie, we find out that so King Aktun was the original, I guess kind of, was trying to be the original ruler of Kahndaq, which is the city where, yeah, I guess Adam and his son Harut lived. Obviously 5,000 years ago, so that was quite some time ago. So I guess Kahndaq is in Egypt. Yeah, they're Egyptian, right? So, and King Aktun is after this mineral called Eternium in order to create the crown of, in order to, create the crown of Sabak, I think was the goal here. Or to give the crown of Sabak its power. One of those two. Oh my god, why can't I remember the beginning of the movie? I've seen it twice, for God's sakes. You would think I would know by now. But the crown of Sabak, so he was trying to give the crown power, that's right. Because the crown of Sabak controls the 9 lords of the underworld, I think. And obviously Sabak being the most powerful one, I'm assuming, because that's the villain they fight at the end of the movie. So his son wants there to be a hero of Kahndaq, or a champion, I guess, in this case. So, unfortunately, Adam's son is killed, and he becomes the champion of Kahndaq and goes and kills King Aktun. But not the way you would think. In the beginning, it seems like he's doing it based on... well, in the beginning, it looks like he's the kid, right? I think that's the way they wanted to put it. And obviously the same wizard that gave Shazam his powers gives Harut his powers too. So Harut was the original champion, and then when they come after his mother and father lives, so Adam lives and becomes the new champion of Kahndaq, although I guess after his son gave him his powers and his son is killed, the wizards don't think that obviously Adam is worthy, so they actually imprison him in this tomb with the crown of Sabak. After he's obviously gone off the rails and couldn't control his power and almost leveled the entirety of Kahndaq. Thank God he was actually in the, I guess, yeah, in the building he was in, because he would have probably destroyed more than that if he wasn't in there. But yeah, he goes back for revenge, obviously, against his son after he's killed, and just wipes out the entire king's army and the king. So that was pretty crazy. So then he gets the powers, and then years later, obviously, um, Adriana and her team are after the crown in order to take it and hide it somewhere else. But it turns out that Ishmael is actually a descendant of King Aktun, and I guess the last descendant of King Aktun. So now he's after the crown too and trying to double cross them, and it's just, yeah, that was quite the mess. And I can't remember the name of the people that are in control of Kahndaq now, and I don't know why, because it really bugs me, but it's, yeah, I guess Kahndaq has kind of been under ruling no matter what. Somebody has been in control of it for all this time. It's just a different group of people now. And actually, I'm going to look that up because that's going to bug me if I don't. So, people in control. Can I spell? For some reason, I have a hard time spelling in these videos. Whoops, I put a J instead of a K. Kahndaq. Right, that is how you spell it, I think. Oh, nope. Oh, come on. I will find out. Do, 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 do. Yeah, so it was Eternium that they were after. But I'm just trying to think. Do, 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 do. Interesting. It doesn't really say anything here on Google. Do, 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 do. Damn. Okay. Well, I know it's the art, like a military presence, basically, is what is control of Kahndaq today. And obviously we have the Justice Society with Hawkman, Dr. Fate, Atom Smasher, and Cyclone. Now, Cyclone's character was by far probably the coolest out of all of them, I think. I mean, Hawkman, we know because he's been around for, God, in the DC universe for quite some time. Now, Atom Smasher and Kent were, or I guess Atom Smasher and Dr. Fate were kind of new characters to me, and it was cool to see Dr. Fate's powers because, holy crap, yeah, he was probably single-handedly the strongest, obviously, out of all of the characters that were in the Justice Society, at least in this movie. And oh my God, can we please get rid of Amanda Waller? Just, she has to have her fingers in everything. She's pretty much got her hands in the Justice League at this point. She's got her hands in the Justice Society. She has the Suicide Squad. Like, can somebody please just kill her? Like, we need to. Somebody has to pull the trigger on her eventually because she's just not a good person. just we need somebody else who's actually going to take care of the people that are going out there and fighting for her, regardless of. Now, I understand the whole Suicide Squad concept because it's, prisoners, but I don't really think you need to have a detonator in their head. Just, oh my God, just absolutely unbearable punishment for anybody, any human being, because it's not like their crimes are ever the worst that she picks, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know some of them are like, yeah, I guess it's more like crazy cons than anybody else that she kind of picks to do her jobs. And I guess, murderers and so on and so forth. But yeah, nothing really like too wild as far as crimes goes, I suppose. But anyway, yeah. So now she has her hands in this Justice Society too, and Hawkman kind of seems to be her, obviously, like right hand man in this movie, and he's obviously going over to Kahndaq to take down Black Adam, who to the people of Kahndaq is their hero, their champion. So they don't even want the Justice Society there when they show up because the Adriana even says to them like, "We've been under ruling for 27 years. You didn't show up when, these guys came over and killed my husband," and so on and so forth. So now you're here when we already have a hero. And I guess he tries to tell her that Black Adam isn't who she thinks he is, and I guess he destroyed, parts of Kahndaq years ago when he couldn't keep control of his powers. And obviously, he's not necessarily the typical hero you would find because he does kill people, and heroes aren't supposed to kill people. That whole mumbo jumbo. But I mean, I suppose, yeah, it was kind of a refreshing thing to see, like the anti-hero type deal, where he's still saving people, but also like absolutely just annihilating the bad guys. And I can't wait to see him possibly fight Superman in a movie because oh my God, that was quite the. Even though I knew it was coming, I wasn't sure what kind of volume Superman's appearance was going to come in. But I guess at the end of the movie, obviously after he's defeated Sabak, and oh my God, I can't believe that Ishmael literally sacrificed his own life to die just to go to the underworld in order to bring Sabak back to life through the power of the crown. So that was a pretty crazy thing to have happen. And obviously, Dr. Fate, Cyclone, Atom Smasher, and Hawkman aren't strong enough to obviously defeat Sabak alone. So Dr. Fate has to call on Black Adam again, or Teth Adam at this point. Has to call on Black Adam again in order to obviously defeat Sabak and become the, I guess, kind of, Sabak said the ruler, but obviously Black Adam doesn't want to become the ruler. He just wants to be the protector of Kahndaq, and he says Kahndaq already has heroes, it just needs a protector, so he's going to be that protector for them. And yeah, what else was I going to say? And then obviously Superman comes in at the end and says that they need to talk, and I don't think Black Adam is one for talking usually. He's usually one to just take action and talk after he's absolutely defeated and annihilated his opponents, right? So yeah, I'm assuming he is probably going to make an appearance in the Shazam movie because I know apparently there was some complaints about why it was Shazam not in this movie, and it's like, okay, this is Black Adam's story, has nothing to do with Shazam yet. Shazam doesn't come into the picture until later. And obviously Shazam is in America, so he's probably not even going to know about Black Adam until Black Adam obviously tries to leave Kahndaq, and so on and so forth, right? But the action sequences in this were just absolutely beyond crazy. Really, really well done. And I think maybe they could have had maybe one or two less flashbacks to explain the backstory of the whole sun thing, but I mean, I guess it was done in a way where it was just him thinking back to that time, right? Except for the one where he's almost dead and he gets to see his son again, but his son tells him it's not his time and he's got to say Shazam again to get his powers back. What else was I going to say? Yeah, this movie, because I almost said it in my last review of The Rings of Power, and I was thinking about this for some reason in my head for a second. So this movie did a really good job of making you feel a personal connection to the characters actually in a very short span of time. So if you didn't know who the characters were before the movie, you felt more connected with them as the movie went on. And that's hard to do, I would say, in a 2 hour span, especially if you didn't know a character. But damn, I felt I felt bad for Dr. Fate when he ended up dying. Like it was just you just felt that connection with these characters. So obviously that's kudos to the acting skills clearly. And I do have to agree with some Instagram posts I saw that this was, although The Rock has obviously been cast kind of like a typecast character, he's definitely the action hero, but I mean, I would say this was different. I don't know really how else to describe it other than it didn't, it felt a lot more personal, I suppose, I guess to some of his other characters like Hobbs or, like the older movies like The Rundown and so on and so forth. Walking Tall, like all those movies. It just seemed a lot more personal in this than anything else, I guess. Um, and he just did a very good job of kind of getting into this character. And it wasn't as jokey, you know what I mean? Like, obviously the jokes were there, but he was able to stay serious through the movie. Um, so I think that was good because a lot of what he's been doing is kind of like action comedy, and this was not supposed to be action comedy. This was a lot darker of a story, and I like the way that DC is going now, and I hope that they kind of continue to go this way. And I guess Ben Affleck is going to be returning as Batman too, so I'm kind of looking forward to seeing where the Justice League is going to go, obviously. Um, I guess maybe Henry Cavill was enough returning as Superman to make Ben Affleck go, okay, I'll come back as Batman now. Maybe that was why he wanted to return. I think that would probably be enough for me to return if I'd worked with him twice already, right? Um, and what else? What else can I say about this movie? Yeah, other than that, and the soundtrack. The soundtrack in this movie was phenomenal. Each track they picked worked with the scene they chose, and I don't think there's really any other thing I can say other than that because I've already talked about Superman's appearance and all that stuff, and obviously my rating. I gave this a 9 out of 10, and surprisingly, it got a pretty good rating out of the people who have rated it so far. Now, obviously, there are going to be haters in every movie, but yeah, I guess that is what it is, right? Let's just say, kind of, maybe Black Adam is not perfect, but it's still great. Okay, so, I mean, I suppose there were some flaws, and I guess now James Gunn is going to be coming over to the DC universe after he's done with Guardians of the Galaxy, and I mean, he killed it with the new Suicide Squad movie, so I mean, I'm excited for that, obviously, because I believe he will probably be doing those movies, I would assume. I would hope. I would hope. I'm hoping he stays on the Suicide Squad project, and obviously Peacemaker, which was the first season, that was phenomenal. So yeah, I think that's it. My rating was 9 out of 10, and yeah, I might be going to see this movie for a third time. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it just was one of those movies. This is like, yeah, it's up there because so far my top three movies of 2022, I would have to say would be the Batman, Top Gun Maverick, and now Black Adam. Definitely, definitely in my top three. Just because those movies were the standouts of the year, I would say. Uh, and that's it for this review. I guess I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye for now.